We see the pivot into Shadow Hypno. Cresselia farms up some energy before pivoting out into the stupid minty green tin can. However, do they know about that big focus blast coverage? And the question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. Season 18 is only a few days old. However, by now, I'm sure you've seen every single buffed Pokemon you could possibly think of, as all the big content creators have been smashing out content multiple times a day. So today, we're going to be doing what this channel is known for. Shoutcasting some triple shadow destruction with two Pokemon running a very surprise nukes. We've got Shadow Hypno running that big Hail Mary focus blast coverage, and we've got Alolan Sandslash running that Blizzard. Absolutely no one is going to expect Blizzard because I think Ice Punch and Drill Run is pretty much mandatory. Today's battles were submitted to the channel by fellow content creator Yvevtial. Make sure you go check him out. He's linked down below. He is always running this kind of insanity, and he is a very highly talented battler. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we lead Shadow Alolan Sandslash into a Zoom Roll. A pretty decent matchup, especially if the opponent doesn't have Hydro Pump. This opponent, not even looking to bait the Hydro Pump, opt to throw the double resisted Ice Beam, a very questionable play. They then pivot out into Lantern, and Lantern, this stupid electric fish, is going to be met with a Drill Run to the face. The Drill Run lands, and we see the pivot into Hypno. Hypno will operate very well as a damage sponge, as even in its shadow form, it has very respectable bulk with the opponent. Fire off the Thunderbolt, and Hypno easily withstands the damage. The opponent then send out their own Alolan Sandslash. Yvevtial unable to reach the focus blast. However, the opponent probably shields, fearful we've got Fire Punch, which is a much more common moveset. Yvevtial now has shield advantage, and we enter the mirror. We see the instant no shield deployed. Yvevtial looks to call the bait. The opponent full send the Drill Run, and it's now all down to Gallade to clean up. Gallade, of course, going to be investing Protect Shield. The opponent fires off yet another Drill Run. Gallade generating energy at a rate of knots. However, the opponent able to reach one further charge move. Gallade is now all shields down. The opponent continuing to throw Drill Runs. I'm unsure if they've actually got Blizzard. How crazy would that be? Yvevtial baits with the Leaf Blade, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Close combat going to be massive overkill. However, it does lower our defense. Can we survive one bubble to reach the Leaf Blade? Yes, we can. And Gallade going to be able to sweep the backline. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Alolan Sandslash, a Pokemon I like to call Sonic the Hedgehog, into Charger Bug. This opponent actually running Spark. You can see they fire after only 6 sparks. This can't be a discharge. It's got to be a resisted X-Scissor. Yvevtial evidently has been to school. He knows his count, and he is not shielding a resisted charge move. Then return fire with the Drill Run, and we see the aggressive pivot into Hypno. Hypno, so oppressive, gets the Confusion Farm down before the opponent reaches X-Scissor. Number 2, the opponent temporarily sends out Annihilate. Recognise that's a dreadful idea, and then save switch into Sandslash. Yvevtial full sends the Focus Blast. Oof, which goes shielded. Of course, these battles are played in the early ranks, and we're on like day 4 of the season. This opponent is running Metal Claw, which definitely isn't the best quick move you can run on Alolan Sandslash. Both Shadow Claw, which is Legacy, or Powder Snow would be objectively better. Yvevtial forces the opponent's final protection, then send out our own Sandslash, enter the mirror. I imagine we're just going to completely sack Sandslash and put it all on Gallade. Drill Run does secure the knockout. We send out Gallade with a 2 to no shield advantage. Yvevtial heavily over farms. Fires off the close combat on the CMP tie. You know the drill. Get that Sandslash out of here. Back out comes Annihilate. The super spammy Gallade goes straight for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade lands for huge damage. Holy crap, I cannot believe we get to that in only 8 turns. The opponent makes a mistake, throwing a charge move. As we still had 2 Protect Shields remaining, the win con for the opponent would have been to get the fast move beat down. However, even that wouldn't have been possible, and Yvevtial takes that game. In the next battle, we see a huge Yikes lead. However, Yvevtial is running an ABB team, of course. Sandslash double weak to fighters, and we've got 2 anti-fighters in the back. So we see the save switch into Hypno, drawing out Trevenant. Yvevtial goes straight for the Legacy Psyshock, forcing a shield advantage. And now we're going to have Gallade up Protect Shields again, looking to sweep the back line. We see the instant no shield deployed. The opponent takes us out with the Seed Bomb. We can now send out Sandslash. We're not going to respect anything, as you know Polyrath's going to eat us alive. The opponent fire off the Shadow Ball. We withstand the damage, get the Shadow Claw farm down. Unfortunately, switch time isn't up. So we do get sniped, and if we have to throw a close combat, we're going to be unable to reset that debuff. Gallade has a 2 to 1 shield advantage, but Yvevtial very quickly going to give up that advantage, shielding up the incoming Icy Wind. Yvevtial massively over farms, looks to maximise his energy before firing off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade even debuffed, secures the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Blaziken. We farm up to the back-to-back close combats. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not get that Blaziken out of here. The opponent recognising their win con, was calling the bait. However, Yvevtial full sends it, and the opponent can save that shield for next season. In the next battle, we see some Shadow on Shadow crime. Shadow Alolan Sandslash into Graveler. Graveler did actually get access to Mudshot this season, however the opponent is running Rock Throw. We force a protection with a Drill Run, then pivot into Hypno, and Hypno is greeted with Galvantula. This Galvantula is running Fury Cutter. You more often see it on Volt Switch, but having Fury Cutter is very advantageous in this matchup. Again, Yvevtial gets himself shield advantage, which is exactly what he wants, as when shields are down, Gallade absolutely goes to town. The opponent makes a mistake, doing what most Galvantula users do, being very horny for the debuff, throws the lunge, which allows us to take Galvantula out with Sonic and not even take any Fury Cutter damage on Gallade. Gallade now with a 2-0 shield advantage. The opponent send out a Hisuian Electrode, but the opponent's going to be straight in and straight out. Get that Electrode off my screen. Back out comes a grab. The opponent throws a charge move once again with 2 Protect Shields. The only realistic win con would be the fast move beatdown. However, as we're part fighting, we do resist Rock, we reach the Leaf Blade, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, another Poliwrath, so of course we're going to do the same thing, the instant pivot into Hypno. The opponent build up some energy, then send out the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death, Talonflame greeted with the Psyshock. Again, we managed to get ourselves a shield advantage in the mid game, and that is exactly what we're looking to do. The opponent fire off the Flame Charge. Hypno withstands the damage, unfortunately unable to survive the next Incinerate. Yvevtial now sends out Sonic, Sonic getting eaten alive. However, the opponent does throw. Have we put this into a range where we can get the Psycho Cut farm down? These Incinerates doing absurd damage. Yvevtial now below half health. We shield up the incoming Flame Charge. We do manage to Psycho Cut farm down before the next Incinerate registers. The opponent's final Pokemon is Licky, far too thicky. We full send the close combat. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. Gallade is going to get his big boom. One shot in Licky, evidently not thick enough. However, the opponent is going to be able to resist the counter farm down, and we're going to take a loss. Moving on to the next one. We see Sonic into Dragonair, a great lead. The opponent safe switches into Skarmory, and Sonic is by far our best Skarmory answer. The opponent fires off the Sky Attack. Sonic easily able to withstand the damage. Yvevtial just thinking, fuck it, you only live once. Full sends the Blizzard. Blizzard goes unshielded. Get that Skarmory out of here. There's the first big Blizzard boom. Out comes a silly electric fish. Yvevtial firing off the Drill Run. Surely this one goes shielded. Nope, the opponent getting terrorized by Sonic. The opponent is still switch locked, so we see the pivot into Gallade. Gallade invests the protection. The opponent full sends the Thunderbolt. Gallade now able to heavily overfarm. Yvevtial fires off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade forces a Protect Shield. Finally, the opponent decides, I'm going to start using shields. Gallade so spammy. Already at the next Leaf Blade. The opponent is now all shields down. Yvevtial looking to shield this up. Can we Psycho Cut farm down? And boom, Dragonair. Yvevtial going for it. However, we're solo. Can we survive one Dragon Breath? Oh, we can't. Unfortunately, we do get sniped. Heartbreakingly, Gallade is denied of its big boom, but Hypno, like we said, very bulky, able to withstand the body slam, reach the legacy Psyshock, and Psyshock is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, Yvevtial leads his Shadow Alolan Sandslash into Poliwrath. I already know it's going to be a big fat no thank you, and an instant pivot into Shadow Hypno. The Shadow Hypno save switch is met by Galarian Stunfisk, aka the Bear Trap. It's like we're stuck in a time warp. This used to be a matchup we saw more commonly around season 7 to 12. However, does the opponent remember Hypno's Hail Mary focus? But Yvevtial full sends it. Get that Bear Trap out of here. Gets one shot, vanquished back to their Pokeball. The opponent then sends out Mantine, and flipping switch is going to be everything in this battle. The opponent fire off the Bubble Beam. Trainer, that isn't going to get the job done, and Hypno still putting in work, reaches the Psyshock. Psyshock goes unshielded, getting Mantine below half health. Yvevtial flipping switch is going to allow him to be in the dream spot. The opponent build up some energy, then send out Poliwrath. Poliwrath is greeted with Gallade. The opponent probably thought, we've got the Psychic type out of the way, we're in a good spot. However, Trainer, we've got ABB, double Psychics, you're definitely not out of the water. We fire off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Gallade going to be happy to shield up the incoming Icy Wind. Gallade just far out spams Poliwrath. Yvevtial farms up to the back-to-back Leaf Blades. If the opponent shields the first, which they do, the second is going to be knocking them out. Gallade, just so spammy this season. It is an absolute monster. Leaf Blade secures the knockout. We pivot out into Sandslash. Yvevtial reaches the Blizzard. Blizzard, going to be massive overkill, but a very fun boom regardless. And Yvevtial, despite hard losing lead, is going to take the dub. GG's. In the next battle, Sandslash into Shadow Swampert, a Pokemon I like to call the GOAT. Despite them being a ground type and us being a steel type, it's a pretty neutral matchup. However, as Yvevtial is running an ABB team, you always want to pivot out of neutral situations, looking to draw out a potential counter for our psychic type. Looking at Yvevtial's team comp, we're probably only really weak to Ghost, to be honest, as Gallade's sub-fighting typing neutralises our weakness both to Bug and Dark. The opponent take us out after heavily over-farming. Yvevtial sends out Gallade, looking for the one shield, Psycho Cut farm all the way down. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, pivot out into Clefable. We are still temporarily switch locked. We fire off the Leaf Blade, stalling the clock and forcing a Protect Shield. Yvevtial now sends out Sandslash. Sandslash goes for the Drill Run. Clefable not the bulkiest in the Great League, however, Drill Run doesn't quite get the job done. Unfortunately, unable to Shadow Claw farm down before the neutral Meteor Mash, so we're going to see Yvevtial invest that Protect Shield. Yvevtial does get the Shadow Claw farm down. The opponent sends back out Swampert. Swampert gets farmed down too. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Azumarill, and this is just game over. We've got so much energy, and it's going to be 2 versus 1. The Drill Run lands for heavy neutral damage. Yvevtial going to fire off the BM Blizzard just to assert authority. Blizzard is resisted, but still does heavy damage. We then pivot into Gallade, Psycho Cut farm down, and take that game. In the next battle, we see Sandslash into Miltank. We throw one Shadow Claw, then pivot into Hypno. The opponent stays in. They're likely going to chip us with the Body Slam and then probably pivot. The opponent actually YOLO a Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, of course, does do more damage, but Body Slam is more energy efficient. The opponent, after landing the big move, fire off a Body Slam, then pivot out into Lantern. Yvevtial looking to do maximum damage. Full sends the Focus Blast. Focus Blast goes unshielded. And you can see Lantern is very thick as it didn't do all that much damage. Yvevtial sends back out Sandslash. The opponent full sends a Thunderbolt. This should allow Yvevtial a very big Shadow Claw farm down, although we're going to leave on minimal health. The opponent sends back out Miltank. Yvevtial once again full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? Get that cow off my screen. We then see the pivot into Gallade. And this is another matchup that is greatly improved by Gallade having access to Psycho Cut. It's very advantageous for us as well that the opponent is running Bubble. Although, to be honest, Bubble and Hex probably do around the same damage in this matchup, although Hex would generate energy slightly quicker. Yvevtial throwing at very disciplined timing, so 2 turn into 3 turn. You want to throw at 1, 4 or 7, and Yvevtial is throwing absolutely on point. We actually throw after only 2 Psycho Cuts there, but I reckon this probably knocks out. To my surprise, the Jellyfish does survive. Yvevtial goes for the no shield, recognising 1 Shadow Claw is going to be enough to secure the dub, and we get to save 1 shield for next season. Heading into the next one. We lead Shadow Alolan Sandslash into the silly Electric Fish. Once again, a pretty neutral matchup, although I do expect us to pivot at some stage in case the opponent has something like a Trevenant behind this. We fire the Drill Run goes unshielded, and there is the pivot. The opponent send out Granbull to answer our Hypno Say Switch. This is an impressive fast move beatdown. However, Hypno reaches the Psyshock. Psyshock goes unshielded. Okay. The opponent's final Pokemon is Vic Trainer. What are you doing? The opponent is running a very toxic fast move beatdown backline. However, if you want to use fast move beatdown Pokemon that have 0 bulk, I'd highly recommend using your Protect Shields. However, what do I know? Looks like the opponent wants to save them shields for next season. Yvevtial going to send in Gallade, shield once, Psycho Cut farm down, and we're going to win a very strange game. Heading into the next one. The fighting leads continue. Of course, we're going to utilise the Hypno Say Switch. The opponent build up some energy, but in the process take 2 confusions, which really chunk their health. They then answer our Hypno Say Switch with yet another silly Electric Fish. It's great to see. New season, same bullshit picks. This silly Electric Fish has been a Pokemon I've really come to despise just because of how common it is. For about the last 4 or 5 seasons, it has been so dominant and on so many teams. However, Hypno puts up a real fight once again. We managed to obtain a shield advantage, and hopefully that is all Gallade needs to clean up. We send back out Sonic, looking to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fire off the first Surf. The opponent makes it a Parting Surf, but this won't be lethal, and I imagine we're going to spam the switch. Let's go, Gallade. Let's go, baby. Oof, the opponent's final Pokemon is Venusaur. Is this winnable? I don't think so. Leaf Blade in this matchup is double resisted. Close combat is single resisted and actually does a lot. But the problem with playing that is that we're going to lower our own defense. Of course, we're going to start shielding up absolutely everything. Venusaur has very quickly found itself in close combat range. Yvevtial again fires off the Leaf Blade bait. Leaf Blade forces the final Protect Shield. Unfortunately, we die to the Vine Whip. So the only wink on here would be hope the opponent hasn't got Night Slash because they've thrown 5 counters and reach a Blizzard. We do get the Shadow Claw farm down. Unfortunately, we don't leave with the Blizzard, and the opponent does indeed have Night Slash, and we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. But that team comp was so incredibly difficult for ours. Heading into the next one. Great lead, Sandslash into Dragonair. Again, we see the save switch into Skarmory. Surely we don't land 2 consecutive Blizzards. This time the opponent hasn't even thrown a charge move. Does the opponent respect the damage? Get that Skarmory out. Let's go. And the opponent is going to concede the match. What a boom. In the next battle, this time we see Skarmory in the lead. Come on, Yvevtial. Please, please, I beg of you, land the Blizzard. The opponent actually bank a boatload of energy and then pivot into the Bear Trap, but the Bear Trap still isn't going to appreciate this Blizzard. And I'll be honest, I'm so glad that didn't land on Skarmory, as I've completely lost my composure. So this gives me an opportunity to try and pull myself back together. The opponent fire off the Earthquake. Hypno gets a massive resisted confusion farm down. Back out comes Skarmory. Can we boom with the Focus Blast? Focus Blast goes unshielded, and the opponent survives on 1 HP and a dream. The opponent YOLO the Brave Bird. We send out Gallade. Gallade gets the Psycho Cut farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Whiscash, and they're going to be out of here. In the next battle, we see Whimsicott in the lead. Fantastic. The opponent saves switch into Lantern, and this is by no means a Sonic answer. We fire off the Drill Run. Drill Run goes unshielded. We then see the pivot into Hypno. That was a very nice play from Yvevtial. Not only did we catch the Surf, but we also managed to sneak a full 4 free turns of energy. Hypno gets a very nice confusion farm down, leaves with residual energy good to go. The opponent sends out Trevenant. These confusions are chunking, although we are getting really chunked in return by the Shadow Claws. We force a Protect Shield with the Psyshock. The opponent does commit to the full Shadow Claw farm down, but they're already below half health. We send out Sonic. Sonic gets baited with the Seed Bomb. Yvevtial doesn't particularly care. We can just shield this up. Look to commit to the Shadow Claw farm down. Again, the opponent bait with a Seed Bomb. Are you serious? Back out comes Whimsicott. Yvevtial looking to land the Blizzard for a Protect Shield. The opponent smartly invests that Protect Shield. However, they don't build up to the Moonblast. I think Moonblast would have been very close to knocking us out. The opponent fire off the Seed Bomb. We withstand the damage and then pivot into Gallade. Again, this is a Seed Bomb. Is this single moved? Perhaps the opponent thought a Seed Bomb would knock out the squishy Gallade. However, they just found out it did not. The resisted close combat vanquishes them back to their Pokeball. We send out Sonic, Shadow Claw down Trevenant, and that opponent, despite killing far too many poor defenseless cats of all their silly master baits, still takes the loss. In the next battle, we see some crazy spice from the opponent. They led Sceptile's Prevolution Grovyle into Sandslash. They say switch into Wish Daddy Cash, and holy crap, it's us that just got Blizzard. The opponent also running a surprise nuke. Shout out this opponent, firstly for their spice, and secondly for that surprise nuke. This Whiscash actually doesn't even have Scald. I actually am stuck in a time warp in this video. What is going on? Yvevtial, unwilling to reveal his third Pokemon, sends back at Alolan Sandslash, fires off the Drill Run, and the opponent has actually invested both Protect Shields. This again sets up Gallade with a 2-0 shield advantage. You can see we attempted to switch. Are we still switch locked, or did it just not register? I'm not entirely sure, but either way, Mud Bomb secures the knockout. We now send out Gallade. Yvevtial farms up, throws the Leaf Blade on the CMP tie. Leaf Blade, of course, secures the knockout. Double super effective, and the opponent had hardly any HP. Back out comes Grovyle. Yvevtial, of course, going to start investing Protect Shields. Grovyle does have access to Leaf Blade, and Leaf Blade is one of the very best moves in the game. Yvevtial overfarms as much as he physically can, fires off the close combat, of course, securing the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Swampert, and Swampert's going to be straight in and straight out, and that is going to be all she wrote. In the next battle, we see another Man of Culture running a Gallade. This one isn't Shadow, but a close combat would still be huge overkill. Yvevtial built up some energy, attempted to catch close combat onto Hypno. However, the opponent showed great composure, holding their energy, and Hypno is now going to be met with back-to-back Leaf Blades. The second Leaf Blade gets us low. The opponent continued to stay, and Hypno gets the full confusion farm down. The opponent now sends out Empoleon. Can we reach the Focus Blast? We cannot. Although, speaking of booms, this Drill Run Not the best move, but definitely enough to one-shot the Penguin, as the Penguin has hardly any bulk. The opponent then switch out into Gallade, look for the Incinerate farm down, but Sonic refuses to die, reaches another drill run, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. It's now all down to Gallade. Gallade can only hit this Crocodile for resisted. However, they've already been chunked by the Shadow Claws. Yvevtial fires off 2 Psycho Cuts and the Leaf Blade for optimal fast move time, and Leaf Blade definitely puts him in Psycho Cut farm down range. Let's go, Gallade. Yvevtial's just got to shield this move up. Psycho Cut farm all the way down. Gallade says, feed me that Penguin. Bring it back out. I dare you. The opponent sends out the Penguin, but it's going to be straight in and straight out. Get that Empoleon out of here. And Yvevtial takes the dub. In the next battle, we see Sableye in the lead. This is exactly where we want to see it, as our backline is very, very weak to Ghost. Yvevtial farms up, looks to throw the drill run. However, Sableye, with the higher attack, manages to throw first. Yvevtial doesn't shield. Hopefully the opponent matches that, and they do. Oof, that would have been very scary if the opponent shielded. Yvevtial has managed to get this Ghost very low and not reveal just how weak we are to Ghost. Yvevtial now sends out Gallade. Gallade looking for the one shield, double resisted, Psycho Cut farm down, which we get, and we leave with residual energy good to go. The opponent sends out Cresselia, and Cresselia is very difficult for our backline. We fire off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade does some solid chip damage, and we pivot into Hypno. The opponent banks a boatload of energy, then send out the minty green tin can. Do they know about that big focus blast? Yvevtial full sending it does the opponent. Respect the damage. Yet another big boom. Let's fucking go. Get that Registeel off my screen. Yvevtial full sending nukes through 2 Protect Shields, and he is going to be rewarded here. The opponent is going to probably look to take Hypno out. However, Gallade should be able to outspeed Cresselia to 3 Leaf Blades. Gallade farming up, throws the first Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Yvevtial once again going to fire off this next Leaf Blade. They're not quite in Leaf Blade range yet. However, very quickly will be approaching it. Yvevtial going to invest the final Protect Shield on the incoming Grass Knot. Return fire with the Leaf Blade. Is Leaf Blade enough to knock out? Yes, it is. What a win. Very, very well played, Yvevtial. Heading into the next one. We see former Meta Kingpin, Metachan. We see the instant pivot into Hypno. The opponent answers our Hypno save switch with Jellicent, and things are looking incredibly rough. Things have gone from bad to worse. We see MP title, potential Shadow Ball. Please bait. Off, the opponent nuke us through 2 shields. Holy cow. Yvevtial, you pulled off some wizardry, and you really are going to need to pull off all the tricks to come back from this one. Does the opponent Shadow Ball us again? Yes, they do. Sonic is now left deep in the red. Yvevtial gets the full Shadow Claw farm down. Just YOLO the Blizzard. Back out comes Metachan. Does the opponent respect the damage? Blizzard lands through 2 shells. Near one shot on the opponent. We then see the pivot into Gallade. The opponent banks some energy. Then send out Ferrothorn. Yvevtial continuing to go straight nukes all the way. Does the opponent respect the damage? Ooh. The opponent has 2 shields, and they smartly choose to invest one. These bullet seeds are now doing crazy damage. Yvevtial shields up the Power Whip. Gallade, so spammy. We're now doubled up on close combats. The opponent can't shield them all. This next close combat does force the Protect Shield. The opponent doesn't make that catch. This close combat gonna vanquish Ferrothorn. Back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Metachan. We can easily shield this move up. That Psycho Cut that did go through is going to secure the knockout, and we pull off yet another incredible dub. Yvevtial, buddy, I take my hat off to you. That was one of the most fun shoutcasts I've ever done, regardless of the season. I've been doing this now for like 2.5 years. That was incredible. His link down below. Make sure you go check him out. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.